Friends. In the last video that you watched, I read the story Caterpillar to Butterfly to you. And in the story, it talked about the life cycle of a butterfly, which means how the butterfly grows throughout its life. So a butterfly, just to recall, it starts off as an egg on a little leaf. Out of the egg hatches a caterpillar, and the caterpillar then eats a lot of the leaves and it gets really big and fat, and it goes into a chrysalis. Inside of that chrysalis is where all of the changes are really happening. When the caterpillar comes out of it, it's no longer a caterpillar. It actually comes out and it is a butterfly. So we said that we were using the topics of butterflies to help us with our next kind of writing. And that type of writing is called informational writing. When we write an informational story, we are writing a book that's kind of like this. This book was not telling you a really good story. This book was trying to teach you facts about a butterfly's life cycle. So today we're going to kind of review what it means to have a fact, and we're going to practice writing a sentence about a caterpillar. The reason that we're doing a caterpillar for today is because Mrs. Rose has something pretty cool to show you. I actually have at my house right now caterpillars that I ordered. And remember, I told you this is something that we usually do when we're together in our classroom, but I ordered caterpillars so that we would still be able to see how caterpillars grow and change. And we'll also be able to see them make their chrysalis and then become a butterfly. So if you look really closely at those caterpillars in that cup, okay, you're going to kind of notice there's this brown stuff on the bottom. This is their food. This is what they eat because they're not outside eating the leaves that they normally would. You're also going to notice that there's kind of this like white webbing stuff that's kind of hanging. This is the stuff that they're kind of crawling in. And it's just the things that are there just as they're kind of eating and growing, okay? You'll notice right now they're not really moving around, probably because the cup is, I'm holding it and I'm not holding it very still. But you'll notice if you look really closely, you can see that they're kind of fuzzy. They have lots and lots of little legs. They're all over the place. Some of them are on the sides. There's two here on the bottom, and then there's one way up at the top. So I've had these for about 2 or 3 days right now. So they actually have grown quite a bit than when I first got them, but they're going to get even bigger than this, believe me. So a caterpillar, their job is really just to eat a whole lot and get really big so that they're able to go inside of that chrysalis, because in that chrysalis, they're going to stay there for about 10 to 14 days, which is almost like 2 weeks, okay? So I wanted to show you this cup of caterpillars because I'm going to use these caterpillars to help me write a sentence, an informational sentence about caterpillars. Now, remember that when we're talking about informational sentences, we're not talking about our opinion anymore. We're not saying, I love caterpillars. Caterpillars are so cool. We also might think if some of you don't really like how many legs they have or that they're kind of fuzzy, some of you might have the opinion that caterpillars are kind of gross or yucky. But those are what we are not going to be writing anymore. When we're talking about facts about caterpillars, it's things that you can learn about them. It's like you're playing teacher. So if you were learning about a caterpillar or teaching about a caterpillar, you might say, the caterpillar is very hungry. The caterpillar eats its shell. It's talking about the shell of the egg when it comes out of it. Then it eats the leaf it's on. So we could say caterpillars eat leaves. The caterpillar moves to another leaf. So another fact would be caterpillars crawl around, and it eats that too. Okay. Here's some more facts about caterpillars. The caterpillar grows and grows. It gets too big for its skin. It sheds its old skin like a snake. The new skin fits for a while, but then the caterpillar is too big for that skin too. Caterpillars shed their skin 4 or 5 times. That's a really cool fact. That's something that I didn't know a lot about, that caterpillars shed their skin 4 and 5 times. That's pretty neat, right? So those are some facts, real things that you can tell somebody about a caterpillar. The author who wrote this book never said caterpillars are super cool or caterpillars are really cute. Those are how somebody might feel about a caterpillar, but that's not teaching us anything about a caterpillar. So when we write our sentence this week, we are going to be trying to write something that is true about a caterpillar, a fact. Some of those things that we had said in the story that you can see from our little cup of caterpillars here, you could say caterpillars have many legs. Caterpillars eat leaves. Caterpillars shed their skin. Caterpillars grow and grow before they make their chrysalis. Okay? Any of those things are facts about caterpillars. And that's what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks is writing facts about caterpillars and butterflies. So for today, Mrs. Rose is going to show you what my sentence is. Now, when I do my example, I would like you to try to come up. You can watch it and you can look at what I'm doing. But when you write your own, I really want you to try to come up with one that's totally different than mine. Come up with a new fact about caterpillars. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my sentence for you. Okay? My sentence is going to be caterpillars have many legs. Okay? Let's repeat that sentence and count with me how many words are going to be in my sentence. Caterpillars have many legs. Okay, the first word is caterpillars. Now, caterpillars is definitely a word that you could sound out if you weren't sure how to spell it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to write it the way that it really is spelled. And I would suggest that when you're doing your sentence, that you pause this video or you have a grown-up, maybe write it down on a piece of paper and you can copy it so that it is spelled correctly. Okay? Caterpillars have is my second word. I don't have enough room right here to fit it, so I'm going to go to my next line. Have is also one of our sight words. H-A-V-E, have. Caterpillars have many, M-A-N-Y is actually how you spell the word many. Okay? Caterpillars have many legs. Let's break that word down together. Let's break it down. L-E-G, legs. First sound I heard was L, E, escalator, G, goose, legs, and it ends with an S, like a snake. Caterpillars have many legs. Okay? I need to go back and check that I have all of the things that make a good sentence. Does my sentence start with an uppercase letter? It sure does. A sentence has to have an uppercase letter in the beginning that shows you that that's a new sentence. Does my sentence have finger spaces in between each of my words? Okay, there's finger space here. I didn't try to squeeze words in where it wouldn't fit. So yes, I have my finger spaces. And does my sentence end with a period? Yes, it does. My sentence will have a period at the end because it's not asking any questions. When we're writing informational books or informational sentences, we're telling information. So we're just going to end with a period. Okay? Caterpillars have many legs. Okay? My illustration now needs to match that. Okay? I could certainly just draw a picture of a caterpillar with lots of legs, but I'm a really good artist and I want to make sure that I'm also drawing a setting in my illustration. So I know that for the most part, caterpillars live and they're crawling on leaves or they're crawling in like meadows and places where there's lots of flowers and grass and leaves so that they can actually eat. So I'm going to actually start off by making some grass because yes, Mrs. Rose has caterpillars in my house, but caterpillars don't usually live inside people's houses. They usually live outside where they're able to eat the leaves that they need in order to keep growing. Okay, so in my area, there's going to be trees, and I don't have a ton of markers with me, so some of my color choices here might be a little bit limited. Okay, there's trees. There could be flowers. Okay, Maybe I'll do another flower. What's really important though is that when I draw my picture of my caterpillar, that I'm showing you that it does have many legs. So I shouldn't really just have, and I know it's going to be kind of hard to see because the camera is kind of far away from me here, but when I draw my caterpillar crawling on this leaf and eating it, okay, I need to include all of those legs that it has. Okay, I'm going to move my camera a little bit closer so that you'll be able to see that. Okay, but you can see that detail there. Okay. What I really don't want to see is you just drawing just a very simple picture of just a caterpillar. Okay, because while that's good, while it does match the fact that you're drawing or that you wrote, we want to make sure that our illustrations are using different colors, okay? That they're using different details about where caterpillars usually live, where you would find them, okay? We want our illustration to be just as interesting as our informational sentence that we did underneath. So for your writing assignment for this week, we are asking that you come up with your own fact about caterpillars and that you write your sentence. We want a whole sentence, so we should have finger spaces, we should have an uppercase letter in the beginning, and we should have a period at the end of it. We also want to make sure that you're taking the time to put some details within your illustration. And I didn't go through and color my tree or my leaves, but I would expect that you would do that. You also can go through and label parts of your picture, okay, so that when I get it and when your teacher sees it, that we know exactly what it is that you drew, okay? So thank you for watching this video. Remember that you're writing a fact about a caterpillar, something that you could teach somebody else about a caterpillar. I can't wait to see your good sentences and your illustrations. Bye, friends.